Hey folks, how we doing today? It's me again, Shannon Fox here, the Road to Patriots 2 channel, and I got a video clip here for you, actually a couple of them, if you stick around long enough. Devin Nunez, who is CEO of True Social, he runs True Social for Trump. He was in his cabinet during the 2020 Trump years, or 2016-2020 Trump years. He said some things today in an interview that I thought really everybody ought to be hearing, everybody ought to be listening to. I've said this before, but I'm glad when people in higher circles, people in the news media, people in politics actually say these things. I'm talking about pointing the finger at the real culprits here. I'm talking about the Obama team, the Obama people, including Obama himself, not just Joe Biden, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. He's talking about targeting them. He says just going after Joe Biden for impeachment, and whether you get it or not, doesn't really solve the problem. Obama is the orchestrator of all of this disaster that has been going on with our country. This is Obama 2.0 as far as I'm concerned, or third term, as they say. But at any rate, he talks a little bit about how Joe Biden is such a disaster and he doesn't know what they're going to do as far as running him again. And truth be known, the caucuses are coming to a head in just the next about 2 or 3 weeks. Several states will be sealing up their primary election choices because they got to make the ballots. And so they're running out of time. The Democrats have less than a month to decide who else is on the ticket in every state because the voting, primary voting, will start pretty quick. So this is actually on a countdown for the Democrats. I think they're going to run Joe again. I don't actually think Obama can stop Joe from running again. This is what I think, folks. I do believe that Obama and everybody had planned to get Joe Biden's son off on the charges that Hunter Biden got a little while back, and then Joe Biden was going to retire. I think Joe Biden is going to run again because of the fact that if he doesn't, then he has no presidential immunity of any kind, and he believes that his son and possibly himself will be possibly caught up in all the criminality. Now, it could be about Obama trying to insure himself and insulate himself from the crimes that he obviously allowed, if not was a part of. Now, we'll go ahead and get into the video, but I do believe that it is going to come out that a lot of things that are happening now and happened under Obama involving Joe Biden, Obama had to approve. He's going to be the real bad guy in the end, folks. You'll see. All right, here we go. Now, it says during an interview, Devin Nunez touched on friction between Barack Obama and Joe Biden and the Democrats' quagmire. Nunez also called on Republicans to go after the larger problem in Washington, D.C. than the Biden crime family. Nunez wants Republicans to go after Obama people and the DOJ and the FBI. All right, let's see here. We'll go right into the video. This was an OAN clip.
Thing there that I wanted to follow up on. You mentioned Joe Biden. You think Joe Biden would be the nominee for the Democrats for presidency? What do you base that on, sir? Do you sense that the Democrats are sort of circling the wagons, attempting maybe to do an intervention here? Is the weakness that we see in the Democrats coming from the president, or is it coming from the bottom up? How is this playing out, sir? Why do you make that forecast?
Well, what I've said is that I just think it's highly unlikely Biden's going to be the nominee. Now, you know this because you're in Washington, John, and I've, from my experience there, Team Obama is the one that's been running the Biden White House. And I think that the giveaway here is that the night before Biden, I mean, because we could go on the whole show about this, I could talk about just this very issue, but the giveaway is this. The night before Biden runs, Susan Rice, who's the domestic policy advisor, one of Obama's top lieutenants, she was running the White House She exits stage left in the middle of the night. She's gone. So that tells me that clearly she was not on board for another Biden administration. I think what they were trying to do, cut a deal for the kid with that phony gun charge that they tried to do in Delaware, go to Biden and say, look, we got your kid off. It's time for you to get the hell out. He didn't, and I think that's the problem here. Obama can't control Biden and Biden's wife because at the end of the day, Biden controls that important title, the presidency. So now you've gotten full-blown David Axelrod, Obama's political guy, is out there basically saying, we're not going to win with Biden. So that is a clear sign that they want Biden out. The polls clearly show it. I think they would have preferred, because they have a Kamala Harris problem, I think they would have preferred to have a primary with 3 or 4 candidates in it because they don't want Kamala Harris either. So I think where we're headed here is to the Democratic Party is headed to a disaster next year at their convention if Biden can make it through because of just the health issues, not to mention the final straw that would break the camel's back would be, does Obama want to unleash the Department of Justice that he controls? His people control it. They're the ones that are chasing Trump around, filing, orchestrating all of these phony lawsuits and phony charges, the documents hoax raid at Mar-a-Lago. This is all orchestrated by Team Obama. So they could, if they really got desperate, they could just flat out start indicting multiple Bidens for what, John, if you or I or any of the people out there listening, if we had the Hunter Biden laptop, if that was the John Hines laptop, I can tell you, John, you would be locked away for many, many years and appropriately so.
I'd have a lot of time on my hands. Sir, you touched on something I wanted to ask you about too. Is it time now for the House, your colleagues in the House, just to go ahead and vote on impeachment?
Well, look, if you only go after Biden, which is kind of what they've been on. And
it's the best part, folks.
I have to say, they followed the money. They have got a lot put together on what looks like complete corruption. But if they only go after Biden and the Biden crime family, they're going to miss the larger problem here, which is all the Team Obama people. And so what I've said is that Biden is only one part of the problem. The other problem is the corrupt Department of Justice and the corrupt FBI. So they should encompass Jack Smith, all the top people of the Department of Justice, all the games that are going on at the border, and subpoena those people immediately. So if you just go after, you're gonna miss. If you just go out and impeach Biden, it's not going to get through the Senate, and you're going to let all the real criminals flee. Look, I'm not saying that what the Biden family have done. Look, it looks really bad. It clearly looks impeachable. But if you're going to run an investigation, you got to follow all the trails all the way down and rope them all in.
CEO of Truth Social, Devin Nunez. Sir, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on Weekly Briefing, and Merry Christmas.
Same to you, John. Thank you.
Wow, he said a lot there, folks. I agree. On the way to take down the Obama administration that is still in the deep state. I'm talking about this, the 7th floor of the FBI building, Quantico, CIA headquarters. They definitely need some cleaning out. Probably from the top down, it probably wouldn't be hard to figure out how many people were dirty involved in covering up for the Bidens and maliciously going after conservatives, including Trump. And when you figure out that some of those names cross paths, for example, like the Jack Smiths and the Anthony Blinkens, you covered up for Hunter, but you're trying to prosecute Trump, that ought to be an immediate red flag, things like that. And that would be the things that I would want to put these people in prison for their treasonous acts they're committing on our country. I think we got less than a year, folks. I believe Trump will win, God willing. Got to pray for him, too, because truth be known, there's a lot of podcasters out there talking about assassination attempts on Trump. I don't know what the left is going to do, but they're not just going to sit here and roll over and let Joe Biden run again and lose with no plan B. And so over the next several months, folks, we got to keep our eyes open, be very attentive of everything going on, and just do our best to try to keep this country together until we can get our president back. Over now, folks. Everybody have a great day.